What's up guys, Sancho Shoots here, and today we're doing a video because it is my 1 year anniversary of doing photography non-stop for 1 whole year. And I just want to give my 5 tips of the 5 things that I think that beginners should learn from the beginning or practice the most to get better. Now I went from this portrait right here, which is going to be an auto mode, to this portrait in manual mode. And basically what I learned is these 5 things, and I think you should learn them as soon as possible. Study them, go out there and shoot and practice as much as you can. So these are the 5 tips that I want to give out. Now I want to go from 5 all the way down to 1, and 5, I wanted to be the least important. 1 is going to be the most important. Number 5 is going to be always leaving your f-stops very high, or leaving your lens, your eye very open. Now it looks extremely cool. I mean, especially if you get a new lens, it looks amazing. You get the blurriness in the background, but the thing is, a lot of stuff in the background you're gonna want. I've done portraits where it's 3 or 4 people and I get the first person looking amazing, and then the back 2 people that I wanted to pick at the back are just blurred out, and it just ruins the whole picture. And so when I first started doing this, I got my first new lens. I got a 35 1.8. I just kept it at 1.8 and just kept shooting, and I noticed that sometimes you just have to move that f-stop to 3.5, 4, 6, or 8. So even to get the whole picture, you might have to slow down your shutter speed, but you'll get everybody or everything in that picture and nothing's blurred out, and it just makes it a nicer, crisper picture. My tip number 4 is to be ready. Honestly, that's just one of the most important things, and that's why it's tip number 4. It's not the most important, but it is to be ready all the time. If you're knowing what's gonna happen, shooting fast, that's the best thing, because the quicker you can shoot, I mean, you might have these little pictures that are blurriness, and then you get the perfect picture, and then blurriness again. That perfect picture with that perfect moment, that's gonna be the picture that's gonna make everybody's mouth just drop. So being ready, being fast. The biggest tip I could give you is to, and it sounds a little weird, don't be taking pictures of random kids, but find some of your friends, if you don't have kids, your nieces, your nephews that are kids, and just take pictures of them, or your own kids, just take pictures of them. I learned so quick how to be so fast with my trigger finger, is because I have a 3-year-old child that doesn't sit still, and she runs all the time. But I find the little moments that I could take fast pictures that come out crisp and real clean, and that took me so far, because when you're dealing with photo shoots and stuff like that, especially with adults, it gets so much easier, and you're like done in like 5 to 10 minutes, and you got all the pictures that you want, and they're like, seriously, are you done? You're like, yeah, because you know how to be fast and be ready for it, and be ready for the special moments. And you could feel them. I don't know about you, but I feel them coming in my gut. Like, I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a good picture, and I'm taking pictures fast, and then boom, I get the moment that's the perfect moment for them, and the perfect moment that they will always remember. And when I send them the pictures, you just see their jaws just drop, because I got that perfect moment and I was quick enough to get it. So be ready, be fast, take pictures of not nobody else's kids that you don't know, but your own kids, because they teach you so much on how to be faster as a photographer, how to get everything focused super fast. And of course your camera does most of the work, but it's you clicking that trigger, and you taking that picture, and you focusing on that person, and you capturing that moment and freezing that time. Tip number 3, and one of the major tips that I've learned, and I hear so many photographers, one of my good friends Joseph told me, is overpacking. Please, you don't need to overpack. You just need like an emergency pack for you and some certain things that you need. I have my emergency pack actually right here, and I just take this emergency pack with me, and it comes with all my essentials, and I just take my camera, and that's it. I just take camera, maybe 1 or 2 lenses at the most, and that's it. Now people have a lot of different packs, lighting, stuff like that. You really don't need it unless you're gonna be needing the light because it's gonna get too dark or whatever. But if you don't need it, the bare minimum is the best thing, because honestly, you're gonna leave your pack somewhere, somebody might steal it or whatever, or you know, you might lose it, break it on just anything, and you don't want to do that. So you want to do the bare minimum. For me, I just use honestly this right here, my 50mm lens, and just my camera. And I don't even have like a long like neck thing around. I just have this and that's it. And that's what I take for every photo shoot. And people freak out and they're like, oh, you don't have more lenses? And I'm like, why? Because I could just move up or move back. It's a prime lens. And I get a lot of good pictures with those. I learn my angles way better with those, and overall it's just a better thing because I don't have to lug a lot of stuff. Now for some bigger projects, of course, I bring multiple lenses, but other than that, I really don't overpack. I really just bring this. I might bring my bag just to be on the safe side if I need to switch cameras for any reason, but other than that, I really don't pack but 1 or 2 lenses. And everybody see me, you know, take pictures. I only use that one lens and use that one lens only. And you know, if I have to, I'll just, you know, use natural lighting or light that I find or whatever. But other than that, that's basically what I use. You don't need to overpack to be a good photographer, and you don't need the newest gear to be a good photographer. This camera right here is a Canon 7D, and it's 11 years old, and I bought it for a good steal of 125. I think I paid for it. I got the lens for 25 bucks at a pawn shop. They didn't know what they had, and you know, you can make money off of this. I made a lot of money off of this already, just this little 2 thing. I probably paid it off already like 20 times. So this is a good little thing right here, and you don't need to overpack. And that goes for my next tip, is learn your angles. One thing that I learned and I love using is prime lenses, and the reason why I love using prime lenses is because you have to move, and you will see me, if I take pictures, I'm moving back and forth, going around in like a circle, bringing it around town like SpongeBob, and bring it around town, bring it around. You know, I'm just getting different angles, and people don't even notice that I'm getting different angles. They're like, okay, like he's just taking a picture. What do I move and move here and move here? And then they see the pictures, they're like, what the hell, how'd you do that? And it's just from the little movements that you're doing, you're getting different angles and you're getting different, you know, things. Just learn your angles. That's one of the major things to learn your angles. Especially, you will learn your angles with a prime lens, because if you have a zoom in lens, you could just move it around and you stay in the same spot. With a prime lens, you have to go closer or further back, and you know, and you can move down, you can move up, and it's just really fun to learn angles, especially when you see something that nobody else sees. With me personally, rails is the best thing. Like handrails, because you could sit somebody away from it and you could take a portrait in between the rails just like this, and then you'll get that type of picture. And if you get a really good model, it makes the picture look pretty fucking cool. So with that being said, learn your angles. And my number 1 tip for my beginner photographers is to learn the trifecta: your ISO, your f-stops, and your shutter speed. Learn them. Mess with them, do everything you can with them, go to different types of lighting, learn how to use it, use one lens only, master that lens, and how to use the trifectas, how to use your trifecta. Once you get that, you're golden for any situation. Honestly, you know that if you're in a darker thing, if you're in a darker place or a darker area, you know, you have to bump your ISO a little bit to a certain spot, and then you know the grains, like from this camera instantly. For instance, this camera, if I pass about, I think 1200 on my ISO, it starts to get grainy. Now this is a 10-year-old camera, so this one starts to get grainy when I start passing up 1200. So I already know that once I start getting up to the close to 800, I have to slow down my shutter speed. And when I slow down my shutter speed, I know I have to also lower down my f-stop so I could get more light into it. And that's going to be my trifecta for a darker place. Now it's a lighter place, I pick everything back up, I lower my ISO, and I pick up my shutter speed. I pick up, if I want to, I could, pick up my f-stop, just depending on what the person wants. If it's like a, portrait, I would lower my f-stop, and then, kind of pick up my shutter speed all the way, and you get good pictures. And basically that's it. So if you like this video, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, give me a thumbs up if you really like this video, if you want more tips, if you have any questions or how I do things, and any type of questions, go ahead and ask. Like I said, I'm only a year into this, I'm still learning. I learn from everybody, and if I am doing a shitty job, I will learn to do a better job. But other than that, keep shooting.